Hello, everyone. This is Monique Lynelle, and welcome to another Monique Lynelle's Living with a Purpose blog. So, today's topic for the Monday motivation is it's mindset focus. So, when I think about focus, I think about laser beam focus, right? Like when you hone into one particular thing and you're laser beam focused on that particular thing, and when you do, your strength goes into that area, right? And so in life, you can have different things that you're good at. You can have different gifts. You can have different abilities, right? And with that said, when you have those things, it doesn't mean that you have to be all over the place in a bad way. You can hone into different things in your life and be productive and move on to something else and be productive in that same way, but at another time in your life. What I'm meaning by that is, okay, so if I focus on, I'll give my life and myself as an example. So when I got out of high school, even before I got out of high school, I decided I wanted to be a cosmetologist. So I was focused on that for some time. I had to shift to be focused on what I needed to do to get through basic training in AIT when I first joined the Army Reserves, because I went there to be able to help me get money to finish cosmetology school. So I still had a focus. My mindset and my focus were, okay, I'm working two jobs and I'm in school. This is a lot. So maybe I can get some help and I can serve the country at the same time. So I had to take time away from what I really wanted to do and then do that, and I actually was good at it. I was a good soldier, right? But when I came back home and all these different things were happening, I was like, no, I need to get back to what I went to the military for and what I was initially going to school for, because I wanted a career, right? And so when I did that, I had to go back to school and finish, and I got some help from the GI Bill that I could use at the time for a trade, and I was able to finish the school. The thing about that is that I had to keep my focus on that even while I was in basic training. I was like, why am I here? I kept on going back to my why, because some days got rough. We had to get up early. We had to do all kind of marches. We had to do all kind of PT, which is physical training. And we had to do all kinds of things that were like, okay, this is a lot. Why am I here? But I looked at my end goal and I said, this is what I wanted to do, and I had my why. So while some other people might have thought, oh, she's all over the place, no, I had a reason for what I was doing. I knew the reason, and I stayed focused on the reason. That's how I got through basic training. That's how I got through AIT, because I said, oh, okay, well, this is going to help me ultimately, so I need to get through this task. The process became a lot easier for me to get through because I had the end goal in mind to say, okay, well, I want a career in this, so I need to do this to get there, right? And so some of the things that happened in my career were unconventional, and I was able to do hair in Germany. And I was talking to someone else about that earlier today. I was able to do hair in Germany. I was able to have reciprocity, but my personal life was not as stable as I wished it to be. So I was able to be licensed in DC and Maryland and in Pennsylvania. And then later on, I was able to get cosmetology instructors certificate and license from Pennsylvania. But I don't live up there now. I don't stay there now. But the skills that I gained, they didn't leave. So although I've done other things in my life, and now I'm, looking into, having a career with speaking and coaching, all these different things have led from one thing to the next thing. So things build on each other. Me writing a book and me having experiences in life that I've learned from, those come from things that I actually did and experienced, but I had to be focused on one thing at a particular time to get through that. So why I say mindset focus is important, because you don't want your mind to just roam and be all over the place. Be intentional about what you're choosing to do at a particular time and say, okay, I need to finish this, right? You might have other things that are going on that you want to be a part of your life and you want to expound upon. However, in comma, those things aren't what you need to focus on at a particular moment. So like some things you can put down and pick back up, other things you need to get done now. So that's what I mean about focusing. So if you say you want to be a doctor, you know you have to go to college to become a doctor. So when you're in high school or even junior high school, you know you need to do your assignments. You need to get stuff done. If you have decided when you're younger that you want to be a doctor, then when you look at it, some people think, oh, it's going to take forever. It takes so long. But if you're focused from when you're in high school or junior high school, then you can do it, and it'll be you'll be way younger when you're done than you think you would. But people, when you keep putting stuff off, putting it off, then it'll never be achieved. So when you make that as a goal, you have to go into ninth grade and be like, I'm doing my assignments. I'm learning what I have to. When you get to 11th grade, if you have to take the SATs, if you don't plan on going to a community college, you're going to have to take your SATs. When you take those prep courses or whatever like that, you have to take stuff seriously, because this could determine what type of school you're going to end up in. The reason why I'm saying this is because the focus is you want to live your life as a doctor. So you have to plan for that. So while you're doing other activities or whatever, the goal is you want to live your life as a doctor. So how are you going to get there? You have to study. You have to get good grades. You need to know your math. You need to know how to speak English. You need to know how to read well. You need to pay attention in class. So at the end of the day, when you make those things a part of your life, they become habitual. If they're habitually good, then you'll do things well. And when you get to college, it won't be such a surprise that you have to turn in assignments and you have to pay attention in class. You need to know different formulas. You have to just pay attention. But your focus is, I want to be a doctor. That's how I want to live my life. So if that's what you want to do, this is just an example, then you stay focused on each class that you need to take to get to the next step. Once you're finished undergrad, like before that, you're applying to your graduate school. Which medical school do you want to go to? Once you apply yourself in undergrad, you have to have honed in on what type of doctor you want to be, because being a psychologist is very different than being a surgeon or being a dentist. But you do have to do residencies, and you do have to you have a certain requirement. You have to look these things up before time. And I'm going to have another blog post about the process, but I'm kind of taking you through what a process looks like. But your mindset has to be, I'm focused on what I want to become, how I want to live in my life, what my purpose is in life, how I want that to look. And once you choose what the thing is, then all the rest of the things are leading up to living in that life. Right? And so whether you go on to have your own private practice, those are other goals that you have, but you have to achieve the first ones first. If you don't go to undergrad, you can't go to graduate school. If you don't go to graduate school, you can't end up having a residency. You can't become a doctor or, a dentist or whatever practice you're trying to go into. You cannot become that if you do not do the preliminaries. So if the focus is, I want to be this particular thing, then you have to remind yourself when you're taking a class, when you're taking statistics and you don't like it, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is irritating, but you need your GPA to be high enough. You need to take that class seriously because it's going to matter for your future. It will help you to not think about oh, this is difficult right now, when okay, well, I want to be a doctor, so I need to do well in this class. It helps you to override, well, why is it so difficult? Sitting there asking why is it so difficult is not going to help you get to your goal. So at the end of the day, your focus is, oh, okay, I need this to get to my next step, so let me just find out how to do it. It becomes an easier choice for you. That's called mindset. So when you're thinking, okay, I need to focus on what my ultimate goal is, or how I want to live my life, how I see myself in the future, then my now becomes a little less difficult because I'm determined to complete it anyway. So that's a mindset. So I just want to encourage you this week to think about where you see your life and focus on the positives that you can make as a difference today. And some things you might have to put on the back burner, like, is this particular party going to help me to become what I need to become? Because then when you're making $400,000 a year, what kind of vacations could you take as opposed to just going to these parties while you're in college? It's like you have to pick and choose your battles. Did you complete all your work yet? Did you, like, sometimes you'll have to say no to some things and yes to others. Like, yes to a study group, and you can meet and talk to people there, and no to this particular party that's not going to help me get a good grade on this class to become the person I want to be, right? So my encouragement is to start choosing the things to focus on in your life that are going to give you the lifestyle that you want ultimately, instead of wasting time on the things that aren't beneficial to you, that aren't going to help you become who you really want to be in this life. And once you focus on those things, you'll become a better person, and it'll be easier to make choices. You'll be less indecisive, because you'll be able to decide, oh, okay, that's not really serving my purpose of what I need to do, so I'm gonna say no to this right now. Some things you're able to say yes to because you have the time or the energy to do it, or it's helping something in your life. Sometimes you get stressed out, certain things you want to do to de-stress because you're piling too much on you, and you need to have some resemblance of a balance so that you can actually have a social life. Because I'm not telling anybody to be laser beam focused on a particular goal and then you don't have any fun in between time. No, you just have to spread out your time to say, okay, I need to do this assignment, I need to do that assignment, and this is most important right now. I have to complete this, and it's beneficial for myself. And in doing that, when you set those priorities, then when you have fun, you don't feel guilty. You don't feel guilty about it. And so I've talked enough, but this Monday motivation is on mindset focus, and this is Monique Lynelle's living with a purpose. Okay, living with a purpose. Monique Lynelle's living with a purpose, and this is Monique Lynelle. Have a great week. Have a blessed week. I hope you say prayers every single day. thanking God for what's going to happen in your life, because you're going to be laser beam focused on what you need to be and do it with a positive attitude. So, once again, it's me, Monique Lynelle, 10-4, over and out. Have a great week.